The peacekeeper glanced through the booklets and handed them back, moving to the female citizen at the next table over. His partner had already inspected the Salty Dog's first booth and was now standing before Jose and Consuelo's table. "Papers," the enforcer barked. They hastily complied. "Papers," he said again to Estella and Parco. Estella handed the man her ID, but her burly man hesitated. "I don't have mine with me." Parco grinned, exposing a missing front tooth. I left him at home." "Then you might as well come with me now." The enforcer flashed a nasty grin. "It's illegal not to carry identity papers, and you know it." Reluctantly, Parco handed over his ID. The officer flipped back to the service record section. It was blank. "Just like I thought," he exclaimed. "All right, let's go." "I said, let's go." As Parco stood, the beefy man hit him in the mouth with his fist, drawing blood. "Stinkin' draft dodger." And Parco staggered back against the table. "Parco," Estella cried, "you ain't got to do that." "Shut up, or I'll take you in too. Come on, Cecil," he called to the younger officer. They strutted out, their prisoner walking stiffly in front of them. "Try to run," the older man said, "and I'll shoot you in the back." They left the grill and the crowd followed. "Pigs," Estella spat. "You're not taking my man." As they stepped out into the street, Keith called out, "That far enough." The enforcers whirled around to face the mob. "Who you talking to, boy?" the older one snarled. "He's talking to you," a red-headed fuchsia man shouted. "You should know better, and you should know better than to come down here and try to drag one of us out of here to send to that rich man's war." "It's a noble cause," the younger enforcer yelled. "And you're a damn fool," Keith shot back. "You're not taking him." "I can have a van here in under a minute," the older man bellowed, his face turning a deeper shade of red. "I can identify all of you." But he was trembling. Estella stepped forward, pulling a metal box from her dress. At the touch of her thumb, a knife popped out. It was 6 inches long and very sharp. "Not if we cut your stinking hearts out." Mark stood behind the crowd, his hand resting on the small of Layla's back. "This is about to get real ugly. They're gonna kill him, and there's gonna be hell to pay for all of us." He glanced over at Jose and Consuela. They stood to his right at the edge of the crowd, out of the enforcer's line of vision. Mark locked eyes with Jose, then Consuela. The bronze man nodded, and they inched away from the group. Jose blurred behind the older enforcer. There were gasps from the crowd as, in one smooth motion, he snatched the enforcer's taser from his belt and struck him between the neck and shoulder blades. The officer collapsed in a boneless heap. At the same time, Consuela wrapped her arm about the younger man's throat and the other about his forehead, holding his head immobile. They had to change to do this. It took superhuman control to let only a little of their power come forth, to stop hair from covering their bodies, their muscles from swelling. Both were sweating from the effort.